चलो switch on your cams. Let's start off. So how was Sunday का paper? Easy, moderate, tough. Forgot the formulas. Got confused between tangent and perpendicular and plane. Most people are saying the same thing. There are 3 corrections in the paper. I got it done. So the corrections were these. So just let me mention you that. 12th was D, 21 was C, and 34 was D. These are the 3 corrections in the paper. So these things I corrected them yesterday. I sent a new results also. You can have a look at that. If you think if there is any more, you can let me know. Others, keep your cams on. Okay, that was one. Second thing, Asta, Jash, Simran, Soren, cams on. So those are the 3 corrections. So do note it down. Second thing, I know a small bad news, meaning we are giving holidays next month for 1 week. I know most of you don't want holidays, like, so put extra classes and all. I told the same to chemistry and bio team, but they're like, no, we will give holidays, summer vacation. Normally we give. So normally we give it on May 2nd week. Every year we give for 8 to 10 days ka break. But this time, frankly, I was not that opinion, because see, what will you do at home sitting? Anyway, you'll sit and watch Netflix and Instagram and all this nonsense shit only. If you're taking a vacation, you should be going out. That is what is called a vacation, not sitting at home and watching Netflix. That's not called vacation. But anyway, people don't listen to physics people. So finally, we decided we will give a small vacation. So the dates are from May 23rd, I guess. 25th or 3rd, 23rd. That's a Sunday. So Sunday to Sunday. So you have an 8 days break. One thing, I shifted it to as corner as possible, because hoping by that time, right, things will settle down a bit. If you are free to move, so maybe you can move around. So 8 days you'll get a summer break. Okay, that was one. And before giving the summer break, this week before, right, we'll have a PTM. I think, physics people are always evil, so can't help it. So we'll have a PTM there. If by chance, if you're in group 3, you will get homework for the holidays. So make sure you study well for the next 4 days. Okay, so that was one. So 8 days, and next break will be again in Diwali only. So whatever is this only. Let's see. Things are quite messed up. We didn't expect all these things to, it's like things went so bad so fast in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. No clue what will happen. Let's see. We'll continue with this thing. So that was the thing. So that was the key corrections and the holiday ka thing. So last thing we did was radius of gyration. Let's do one more question on gyration and then we'll go ahead. So we got a rod like this. It's like this in zigzag shape. ml, ml, ml. Find radius of gyration. Get it. Anyways, the holidays thing I'll be putting in the timetable for the next month, and I'll post it anyway in the group. One more thing I wanted to ask you, like normally Lucky sir keeps DCT at what time? Is it after the class or? What time normally? Is there any fixed day or something for it?
He usually keeps it on Monday or kabhi on Wednesday.
Evenings, yeah. What time?
3:30 or 4, and it's open till 7, 6.
Okay. Okay. Because from next week onwards, right, we'll be starting for mechanics also. I was just waiting for rotation to start. So now it's like we'll have it from everything. You'll get 10 questions from anywhere. Kinematics, loss of motion, friction, circular. So it'll be a little fun. I know you are waiting for it. So Let's see. Get this thing, find radius of gyration. So we'll be starting, DCT for mechanics also. What is the answer? Anyways, do take care. I think in our batch only at least 2-3 people got it already. Why in my batch only, in my house only, my wife and her siblings got it. All are quarantined from last 14 days. I think today their quarantine is getting over. My entire building is sealed. There are 60 apartments, in that 36 apartments got it. They kept a police also below. Full security. No one is in, no one is going out. Answer? How to do this thing? So you can always split them into 3 different rods, remember? So this would be ml square by 3. This is L na, ml square. This would be 3L by 2. So this is ml square by 12 plus m into 3L by 2 whole square. So that is ml square by 12 plus 9 ml square by 4. Multiply 3, 3, 27 plus 1, 28 ml square by 4 by 12. That is 7 ml square by 3. So the moment of inertia would be ml square by 3 plus ml square plus 7 ml square by 3. This would be 11 ml square by 3. Now you have to be careful here. What is radius of gyration? Total mass into k square. It is not mk square. Total mass into k square. Here the total mass is 3m. This is 11 ml square by 3. So from here we get k ka value will be L into root over 11 by 9. Clear? That's the radius of gyration. So if someone asks you radius of gyration, it is simply first you have to find moment of inertia, and then you write total mass into k square is moment of inertia. Put it on. Have a look at this. Ask me if there's any doubt. Copied. Clear. Next one. Turn the page. So this is the moment of inertia ka time. The next one. Rolling motion. So what is this rolling motion and how do we study this? So we study rolling motion by resolving it. the motion into pure translation. In pure rotation. Whatever we do in today's class is there for Sunday exam. Huh? Till today's class is there for Sunday exam. Friday class won't be there. Meaning Friday class syllabus won't be there for Sunday exam. Friday class is there. So we study rolling motion by resolving the motion into pure translation and rotation. What do you mean by that? So if a body is going with V and omega, you can split the motion into a pure translation as if everyone is simply sliding, and pure rotation as if everyone is rotating. So pure rotation about center of mass. I'll tell you what it is in the next page. I'll show you what happens. So it's like, you know what? Imagine you're in a lift. How does the fan rotate? Circle, no? So if you're standing inside a lift, you will think you are seeing a circle. But if the lift is going up, it's a straight line. So in reality, how is the particle going? Like this, right? So it's a combination of a straight line plus a circle. So something similar happens here also. So we split the motion into, you know, as if something is translating and something is rotating. Put it down. Yeah, next thing. So how do you do this thing? This guy is going with V and rotating with omega. So if you consider some points here, let's say this is A, B, C, D, and let's say this point is E at an angle theta. Now look at here, from translation, right? Meaning everyone is going with the same speed. V, 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 V. That is the meaning of translation, isn't it? It's just like a block which is sliding. Then rotation. R omega, R omega. This is just like your fan. Every point is rotating in a circle. R omega. And this E will be rotating like this, smaller omega. It is going in a smaller circle. Now, if someone asks you, okay, what is the velocity of A? From translation, V is forward. This one, no? From rotation, R omega is upward. So velocity at A will be Vi cap. This is due to the translation. R omega J cap. This is due to the rotation. Does this make sense? So if someone asks you find the speed at a point, this is what you do. And this is actually not new, you know. We did this thing in projectile motion, if you remember. We divided the motion into X and Y axis, no? Remember, this used to give Vx, this used to give Vy. So we used to add them vectorially. But instead of two straight lines, we are doing translation plus rotation. So if I ask you for Vb, V forward, R omega is also forward. So Vb will be V plus R omega I cap. We talk about this point, translation V forward and R omega downward. So Vc would be Vi cap minus R omega J cap. If you see that Vi cap is same for all, this point V is forward and rotation is R omega backward. So Vd would be V minus R omega I cap. I'll show you on the next page. Put it down, have a look at this. So what you're doing is for every point, right, there are two components, translation plus rotation. Get them and add them vectorially. Have a look at this. Any doubts, please ask me. This is quite important. This is the main thing of the entire thing today. The entire rolling thing is based on this concept that you can study the motion like one translation. That is, it is simply sliding. Second, circular motion, purely rotating. And then you just add them up. Copied. Put it on. Put it on. 1 minute more. Next one. Now, what about E here? Turn the page. At this point, E is somewhere here. This is going forward with V, and this is going with R omega like this. This is theta. So if you see, it is all vectors only. There's nothing there. R omega. This is theta. So this is theta. Agreed? Because this is anywhere 90 degrees. Now R omega is sorry. R omega is perpendicular. This was 90. So then you're done. What are the components? V, R omega sine theta, R omega cos theta. So velocity at E would be Vi cap, V plus R omega sine theta I cap minus R omega cos theta J cap. I don't want you to remember the formula. I want you to remember the process, the way we are doing it. So from rotation, you get R omega. From transition, you get Vi cap. So just divide the components in I cap, J cap and get it done. Put it down. Clear? Next one. Let's say problem. We have a ring going with V, and omega is 2V by R. There's a point E here. This makes 150 degrees. This is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Find the velocity of ABCD. And this OE is R by 2, half of the radius. R is the radius. Got it? So the 4 points ABCD and E is at an angle of 150 with the horizontal. Now don't try to substitute this in these values. Huh? Try to solve it normally. Try. 4 minutes. Show you. At A, you have V this way, R omega this way. V this way, R omega this way. V forward, R omega downward. What is R omega? 2V. That is given. Omega is 2V by R. Na? This is V and this is R omega. So this was V and this was R omega. R by 2 omega. So basically this was 30 degree. So what is velocity of A? V I cap. R omega is 2V J cap. What is velocity of B? V plus R omega. That will be 3V I cap. What is VC? V I cap minus 2V J cap. What is VD? V minus R omega. So minus V I cap. Is this fine, everyone? What about VE? Look at E ka velocity. V forward, R omega by 2. That is also V. So if this is 30 degree, this will be 30. This will be 60. So the components would be V plus V cos 60 and V sin 60. So velocity of E would be 3V by 2 I cap minus V root 3 by 2 J cap. Check it out, have a look at this. Ask me if there's any doubt. So again, what we did, the rotation R omega is tangential and V translation is always horizontal. So we took them and added them vectorial. Have a look at each step. Any step you didn't get or not convinced, please ask me. But make sure to get this thing clear. This is important. Copy. Next one. Next one. This is going with V. This omega is V by R. This is point A. This is 45 degrees. Find BA. R is the radius. Get it. Two minutes. Clear? Let's see the answer. This point, right, has two velocities. V forward, r omega this way. R omega is also V. So you have V this way. R omega is also V. So this is 45, right? So this also will be 45 only. Everything is 45 there. This is 45. So you are done. So this V cos 45, V sin 45. The velocity of A would be V minus V cos 45 I cap minus V sin 45 J cap. You can leave it like that. Put it on. Have a look at this.
So would it be V cos 45 J cap?
It is going down, right? Minus J cap, no?
Yes, sir, but it should be cos, right?
45, no? It doesn't matter. I know what you're saying, but it is because of cos net, it won't matter. You could take cos, sin, same thing. Okay? But let's pivot what you wanted only. There. Clear? Next thing. Now you can do the same thing with accelerations also. Acceleration profile. So if you have a body going with A and alpha, you can split this into two parts. Translation, rotation, same story. But there is one catch here. See this carefully. If you take the point here, this is A center of mass, okay? This will have A center of mass, fine. This will have R alpha, which is A tangential. Remember, we got A is equal to R alpha from circular motion. There is one more acceleration, A centripetal, omega square R. So remember this thing, unlike velocity, there are three accelerations. You get A tangential and A centripetal from non-uniform circular motion. Remember, non-uniform circular, there are two accelerations. And A center of mass is the third one. So that means every point on a rotating ring or a disk, right, you have three accelerations. If you look at this point here, this was A center of mass, A centripetal, which is omega square R, and this is A tangential, which is R alpha. So you have to be careful. If someone asks you to find the acceleration, you have to give the 3 resultant. So A centripetal, A tangential, and this is A center of mass. A center of mass, A tangential, A centripetal, omega square R. So this is how the acceleration profile will be on 4 things. So be careful with this. That centripetal acceleration most people forget. Now, can you tell me something? In which quadrant the acceleration can become 0? If they ask you like this question, this is the first quadrant, second, third, and fourth. In which quadrant the acceleration of the particle can be 0? Anyone? See, just start add them vectorally. Na? If you add this and this, you'll get something like this. Will it cancel? No. If you add this and this, you'll get like this. Will it cancel? No. This and this will get something and it won't cancel. But look at this thing. This can cancel, no? Are you getting it? So there is only one quadrant where it is possible to get 0. So in fourth quadrant, it is possible to get an acceleration 0. It is possible, compulsory nahi hai. Net acceleration. This will be theoretical questions like this. Put it down. Next thing. Let's say question on this. Writing, put it on, I'll give you a minute. Put it on properly. You can put a bigger diagram. I think I should have written on a new page. I scribbled it. Clear. Let's see a question. So we have a body here. This is going with 10 meter per second square. Alpha is 5 radian per second square. Radius is 2 meters. Omega is 0. It is 7 degrees. Find acceleration of A. 37. Hope everyone remembers sin 37 cos 37. Get it, 2 minutes. Process is same. A is horizontal, R alpha is tangential. You have to take vectorial and finish it off. Show you. See. Try to give another minute. See. So it has acceleration A is 10. R alpha is this way. That is also 10. R is 2 and alpha is this thing. No? This angle was 37. So this was 37. This was 90. So this was 53. So basically 10, 10, and this was 53. Is, we have to get the resultant of these two guys. So this would be 10. This would be 10 cos 53. This would be 10 sine 53. Sine 53 is how much? 4 by 5. So 8 na. 10 cos 53 is 3 by 5. So that is 6. So this becomes 4 and this becomes 8. So acceleration of A would be 4 I cap plus 8 j cap minus 8 j cap. You want magnitude, you can just square them and add them. 16 plus 32, na? 48. Check it out. Ask me if there's any confusion. If you see it is just vector resolution, there is nothing there once you get the A and R alpha. Clear? Next thing. So this is one thing. So that's about the velocity and the acceleration profile of a rolling body. Next part, the no slipping condition. What is no slipping? Remember we did this in friction where we said surfaces are not slipping, not slipping. What do you mean by exactly not slipping? Anyone? So if two surfaces in contact,
Zero friction.
no, it has nothing to do with friction actually. See, friction is the effect. Because there is a slipping, friction will come to stop it. So first of all, what is slipping? If two surfaces in contact have no relative motion, they're said to be not slipping. So what decides whether something is slipping or not is relative motion. For example, If this was going with V and this is going with 2V, it is slipping. See, think of it like this. Imagine, you and your friend are catching hands and both are running. Getting it? As long as you both run with the same speed, your hands will be loose only, no? There's no slipping. But if one of the person tries to run fast, what will happen? The hands will start skidding, isn't it? The hands will just start slipping, right? So the thing is, the relative motion should be 0. Most people, what they think now, when I say no slipping, they think the body is at rest. Not necessary. Both can go together. There is no slipping here. Again, the body need not be at rest. For example, when you're walking now, see how you're walking. Your leg is on the ground. The other leg is moving. So the leg which is on the ground now, that is not slipping. The velocity between the sole of your feet and the ground is 0. There's no relative motion. Your body can move. The contact surface cannot move. So same way, if there's an oil on the ground and if you step on the oil, what will happen? Your leg skids, right? See now, there's the relative motion. Are you able to visualize what I'm saying? So it's like putting your hand on the table and rubbing it. That is slipping. Okay. So basically the point is that. So contact surfaces should not have relative velocity. Contact surfaces ka V relative is 0. Relative, not individual velocities. Put it up. Copy. Next thing. Now see. So if you have a body rolling on a plank, let's say this is going with V, rotating with omega, and the plank is Vp. So a cylinder rolls on a plank. Without slipping. So this thing now be careful. When I say without slipping, meaning there will be no skidding there. Doesn't mean it is at rest. If you take 2 points here, A and B, A is the bottommost point. B is the point on the plank. Now, if you look at the velocity profiles, this guy is going with V forward. This guy is going R omega backward. The plank is going Vp forward. So VA should be equal to VB for no slipping. But what is VA? V minus R omega. What is VB? VP. So this is the condition that you get from no slipping. So the points of contact, I don't want you to remember the formula, okay? I want you to remember this bottommost point of the ring and the cylinder and the Planck point, both show same velocity. And you know how to find A. From the velocity profile, you can get it. Clear with this thing? Put it done. Copy. Next thing. You can do the same thing with acceleration also. But before that, suppose if this guy was on the ground, this was V and this is omega. Now, if you look at the velocity profile, this point is going V forward, this point is going R omega backward, and the ground is at rest. So this point velocity will be V minus R omega is V ground, which is 0. So we get V is equal to R omega. Again, what is this? This is V center of mass. This is V tangential. So don't forget, we are writing V center of mass becomes equal to V tangential. That means if you try to draw the velocity profile of this guy full, this is what you'll observe. This point will have V minus R omega. This point will have V plus R omega. Meaning this point will have V0. The center, right? As you're going up, the velocity increases. And it becomes 2V here. And here the V is 0. So if you take a cycle or something, when the wheel is rotating, the points on the top right will have more speed compared to the points at the bottom. So the upper part of the cylinder is going faster compared to the lower part of the cylinder. That's why it is rolling around. So this is how the velocity looks on a rolling body. The velocity is not same everywhere. So the points on the upper surface will have a higher velocity compared to the lower ones. So let me show you something. This guy's like us one. Look at this thing, wheel rotating. Can you see? So if you see take a photograph of a wheel rotating, rolling, this is what you will see. Can you see the upper part? It's a blur. You must have seen this thing. If you're, with your camera on phone, right? If you're running and taking a photograph, how will you get it? Ever happened to you? You're walking and took a photograph, you get a blur. You don't get a proper clarity. So same thing is happening. See, because the upper part is going faster, it looks like a blur. But look at this lower part. Can you see this is more clear? So if you see the same wheel, even though it looks like the wheel is going with speed v, the upper part is going faster and the lower part is going slower. So if you take the photograph of a wheel, right, this is what you will see. The upper part is a blur and the lower part is little better. So if you tie a ribbon to the spokes of your cycle, and if you're going on a cycle, you'll observe when the spoke, this ribbon comes on the top surface, it looks like a blur, a reddish line, or some colored line. At the bottom, you can clearly see the ribbon. Now here, look at this point. Can you see this dark line? Observe that thing. Observe that thing. See, you can see clearly. You can see it becomes a blur. That is how that works. So that is what I was trying to show you here. The velocity on the upper part is high and the lower part is less. Put it on. I'll just reconnect. My audio is gone again. Yeah, I'm back. Put it on. So that's how the velocity profile thing works. Copied. Next thing. You can do the same thing with an acceleration also. If your body is going with A and alpha, and if it is on a plank. Again, since it is not slipping at the bottommost point, you have A forward, R alpha backward, and the plank is AP. We get A minus R alpha should be equal to AP. This is for no slipping. If you say the body is not slipping, this condition should be satisfied. Suppose if this was on a ground. The only difference would be this guy is going with A and this is R alpha. You get A minus R alpha is A ground, which is 0. So it is exactly just like, that velocity only. Only thing A becomes V and alpha becomes omega. Put it down. So this and the previous one are quite similar. Others, keep your cams on. Just Sean. Copied. Let's see a question. Now, how will questions come on this?
Just a minute. Hold on.
Let me give an example. So we have a cylinder. So like this, there is a rope. So someone is catching it and pulling it. So a rope is wrapped around a cylinder. And pulled. Okay. Now the center of the wheel moves by distance L. So when you pulled it, this must have happened with you have a thread cast pull. Sometimes the thread cast pull falls down, we catch the thread and pull it. What happens? The spool doesn't come towards you. The spool will rotate, thread starts coming out. Ever happened? I used to mess up all my mom the thread spools like that only. She used to just take a stick and start beating me. That's a different story, but that happens. So the center of the thing, right? The center of the cylinder moves by distance L. So the question is, how much string came out? Okay, now look at this question. So if you look at the cylinder here, remember, saw the velocity profile just now we discussed? This guy was 0. The center was going with V. So the top will go with 2V, na? Isn't it? The upper part of the cylinder will go at double the speed. That means, since the topmost point goes with double the speed, twice the speed of center, right? There is no slipping here. Okay, that should be mentioned. There is no slipping anywhere. If you don't mention that, you can't take 0V and 2V. Again, this is valid only for ground. Speed of center, it moves double the distance. Does it make sense? If you're going with speed V, you will travel L. If you travel with 2V speed, how much will you travel? 12, na? So double the length of the string will come out. Does it make sense? If the center goes with V, you are traveling L. That is given. So the uppermost point travels with 2V, you will travel 12. That means the string 12 will come out. So you know what is happening? Due to translation, length L is coming out. Due to rotation, length L is coming out. Total 12 is coming out. So the amount of string that he pulls will be 12. So this is what happens. So if there's a thread cast pull on the ground, and if you catch the thread and pull it, if it comes 1 meter, there is 2 meters of string in your hand. So the thread comes out more than actually the spool coming closer to you. So this will be a theoretical question like this. Straightforward, simple question. So you should know it conceptually what it is. Put it down. Ask me if there's any doubt on this part. Copied. Next one. So let's say question on this. So we have a cylinder, we have a plank. So this is rotating omega with 3 radian per second. The radius was 2 meters. V plank was 5 meters per second. Find velocity of the cylinder. So cylinder is, there is no slipping anywhere. So there's no slipping between cylinder and plank. Find velocity of cylinder. See, whenever someone says velocity of cylinder, he's talking about center only. So remember that in the question, if this is a velocity of the cylinder, it is a center. Or else they'll mention like this: find the velocity of the uppermost point of the cylinder. They'll specify which point also. If they don't specify any point, he's talking about the center of the cylinder. So remember that. Get it? Easy one. One, let's see. Look at this thing. What is the velocity profile? This is V, this is R omega, and this is V plank. Since it is not slipping, V minus R omega should be Vp. V, R is 2, omega is 3, Vp is 5. So V plank would be 11, na? Got it? So V is pushing forward, R omega is backward. So resultant is V minus R omega. That and Vp should be equal. Put it on, have a look at this. Ask me if there's any doubt. Clear? Next one. Let's see one more. We have a 2 cylinders, just like roller skating, okay? Roller skates. Like this. So that is a plank. This is the ground. And this is rotating with alpha. This is also rotating with alpha. Alpha is 10 radians per second. Radius is 1 meter. There is no slipping at any surface. Meaning there's no slipping here and there is no slipping here. So find the velocity of the cylinder and the plank. Acceleration, I mean to say. Find the acceleration of cylinder and the plank. Meaning the cylinders are going like this, plank is also going like this. Find those two. Get it? Hope you're able to visualize the diagram. You have two cylinders, on top of it you kept a plank, and all are moving. Cylinders are also translating. I didn't show you that. So you have to find the translation acceleration of the cylinder and the acceleration of the plank. There's no slipping at any surface, only alpha is given. Next thing. Try. I'll give you a minute more. Let's see. First thing, let's take one cylinder. I don't know how it is going, so let it be A, let this be alpha. At this point, what is the acceleration? A forward, R alpha backward. At this point, the acceleration is A forward and R alpha forward. Make sense? The bottom is the ground. And the top, there is a plank. Now see, there's no slipping anywhere. So this point and this point are equal. So A minus R alpha 0. So we get A is equal to R alpha. R was 1, alpha was 10. 10 meters per second square. Similarly, this point and this point are equal. So AP is A plus R alpha. So A is 10 and R alpha is also 10. That is 20. Does this make sense? Put it down. Clear with this? Next thing.
Sir,
Clear with this thing. Then so that is a second part. So that is the third part. So no slipping condition. So we have total 6 things in rotation. First thing is torque. Second is moment of inertia. Third is the no slipping conditions. So these three are the basic things. So you know how to do the no slipping condition. Now the next part. Now combining all this stuff. Steps to solve. First thing. Standard one, choose your system and draw an FBD. Second thing. Assign accelerations, meaning if the bodies are moving, so assign accelerations A1, A2, A3. If bodies are rotating, assign angular accelerations alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. Anyway, you're not going to use so many, but yeah. And find relation between them. Using constraints, that is in laws of motion we studied. Remember T1, V1 plus T2, V2 tension into velocity was constant, that method. And no slipping condition. This we just now did. This gives you relation between A and alpha. For example, here we got A minus R alpha is AP and all. Third, apply F is equal to MA along X and Y axis. Fourth, apply torque is equal to I alpha. Preferably, when you apply torque, take torque about center of mass. Center of mass is always a safe point, or the hinge, any fixed point. Because see, if the point is not fixed, if it is moving, then it's a non-inertial frame. So you have to apply pseudo force then. That becomes a mess. 5, solve. So these are the 5 things. So let's see how it works. Put it down. If we remember right, till here it was same in laws of motion also. This is one extra step. This one and this one. Everything else was same in laws of motion. We wrote in laws of motion also, steps to solve. Put it on properly. So this is what we are going to follow for the next 2 classes, like solving all problems. Just put it on. I'll be back in a minute. Next thing. So let's take a problem. I'll show you one, then you can try the next one. So we have a rod, mass m, length L, and this is a hinge. So here the string is cut at A. String is cut. Then what will happen? This rod will become like this, no? It will swing, right? So the question is, find angular acceleration just after cutting the string. So the rod will swing, so you'll get some alpha. Put on the question. Let me show you this, then you can try the next one. Let's see. Let me show you this. So first thing what we do, draw the FBD. Remember hinge where there are three forces, Nx, Ny. This is not a new problem, huh? We have done this already. This problem, remember 8th one? So there the string was still there, so it was not moving there. We took the torque about the hinge. So we have done the similar one. Only difference here will be rod will move now. Tension won't come because you cut the string. And the rod will swing like this, na? So this is alpha. So in this case, I don't want Nx, Ny. So there's no need to write force equation. We will write the torque about the hinge directly. We will see later on, next class, we will see how to find Nx, Ny also. That is slightly more complicated, but we'll keep it easy for today. So torque about hinge will be torque due to Ny, torque due to Nx, and torque due to Mg. These are the three torques. This is equal to I about hinge into alpha. This is the new one. Remember, torque is equal to I alpha. You know how to calculate torque? You know how to calculate I. Ny 0, Nx 0, because it is passing through the hinge. This distance is L by 2. So this is Ng, L by 2. What is I about the hinge? Anyone? Rod about the edge? Anyone? What is moment of inertia of a rod about the edge? ml square by 3, na? Because you are rotating about this axis, right? So that is about the edge, ml square by 3. We get alpha, I will be 3g by 12. That's it. So the only difference is, till now we used to write torque is 0. Now torque is not 0, we'll write torque is I alpha. This is what I was saying. You should know how to calculate torque, you should know how to calculate I, or else you won't be able to solve alpha. Clear? Put it down. Have a look at this. Any step you didn't get, please ask me. Get it cleared. So I'll give you one more problem. You can try now. Clear? Clear with this thing? Okay, you guys try this. This was JEE 2006 mains question. You have a rod like this, theta, m and L. This is rough. There's no slipping. So the rod does not skid on the floor. And the string is cut here. So now what will happen? The rod will be like this. Now see, since it is not slipping, the rod will fall like this. So it will behave as if, this point is fixed. Got it? It behaves as if the point on the ground is fixed since there's no slipping. Find alpha just after cutting. Try, I'll give 3 minutes. So if you see here, you just want alpha, right? So free body diagram, torque equation, solve. But 3 steps you will get it. There is no need to write the force equation here because I don't want normal and friction. Try, I'll give 3 minutes. Show you. How many forces are there? Anyone? Normal, friction, mg, na? 3 forces are there, and the rod would rotate this way. So take this point A. This is theta. So you should get torque about A is equal to I about A into alpha. Right? I'll give you another minute. So you have to find torque about point A. You have to find moment of inertia about point A, which you know both how to do. Just put them there and get alpha. Any answers? Anyone?
3g cos theta upon 12.
Right. That's it. So if you take torque about A, you have torque due to N, torque due to friction, torque due to mg. IA is ml square by 3 alpha. N0, F0. mg ka torque is what? Extend mg vector, drop the perpendicular. This is L by 2 cos theta. So mg L by 2 cos theta is ml square by 3 alpha. If you see now, you just have to draw one FBD and get the torque. It's not really that difficult. These questions, right, you need to know. This thing, something similar like this came in NEET also. This was a direct question in JEE Mains also. this level you should be quite comfortable with. You should know how to calculate torque, how to get I. Put it down. Any doubts, ask me on this. Clear? Next one. So we have a cylinder here. This is a fixed wedge, okay? So the cylinder is hinged in the center. There is a rope here and someone is pulling with F is equal to 10 newtons. So it's a solid cylinder. Mass M is 2 kg and radius is 1 meter. So a string wrapped around a cylinder is pulled with 10 newtons. So how is this thing? See, the cylinder is not translating now. Think of it like this. You can put your cycle on the stand and rotate the back wheel. The wheel just rotates, it doesn't go forward or backward. Right? Kind of like that. So find alpha, omega, angle rotated in 10 seconds. So the cylinder starts rotating. So what is the angular velocity? What is the angle rotated in 10 seconds? Initially, it is at rest. Hope you're able to visualize how is the diagram. So it's like there's a string around the cylinder and someone is pulling it. So this guy will start rotating like this. So find alpha, find omega, and find angle rotated in 10 seconds. Give it a try. Let's see. Anyone got it? Now see on the cylinder, right? The force F is this. This is the hinge. What is the torque about the hinge? This is the radius r. So torque about the hinge will be I about the hinge into alpha. So torque about the hinge will be F into R. What is moment of inertia of the cylinder? Solid cylinder.
2 by 5 mr square.
Hey, solid cylinder. You wrote this only again the Sunday exams. Remember well, solid cylinder mr square by 2. Gods. This is 2, 1 square 2. That is 1. So that is I into alpha. So F is 10, R is 1, I is 1, alpha is 10. So alpha is 10 radian per second square. Solid sphere is 2 by 5 mr square. This week also you'll get moment of inertia questions. So do make sure to mug them up. Paper was so easy, right? This time, meaning you just need to remember the results and you should know what is. Most people messed up like that only. Perpendicular, parallel, in the plane, out of the plane. What is omega final? Omega initial plus alpha t. Omega initial is 0, alpha was 10, and time is also 10. That was 100 radian per second. What is the angle rotated? Omega initial time plus half alpha t square. Omega initial was 0, half alpha was 10, and time was also 10 square. That was 500 radians. Clear with that?